can't replace those heroes that were down there at the WTC.
The hopes diminish. We're doing the best we can.
On the day the towers were destroyed, Camilo Vergara was several miles away.
Back in New York.
Was in New York?
Nearly every fire company in New York.
On September 11, 2001, I was 9 years old.
On September 11, 2001, I was 15.
On September 11, 2001, I was 9 years old.
More than 300 firefighters were reported missing.
As the rescue and recovery efforts moved into their second week, the workers pushed on at a feverish pace.
It was very sad.
Thank you for joining us for Muslims America, a special episode on 9/11. September 11, 2001 will always be remembered as a major global world event as far as world history is concerned. But how has it impacted the lives of millions of Muslims living in America? We're coming at you from the Freedom Plaza in Washington, D.C. And to talk about that, I've got three amazing young Muslim Americans with me today. Starting on my right is Rakin Iqbal. Right next to him is Siwash Azizada. Next to him is Idris Nawabi. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
I'd like to start off with you, Idris. Where were you on 9/11?
I was in my 4th grade English class.
What was your first reaction when you found out about it?
When I first found out about it, I remember as soon as I got home, my dad was watching TV, and I remember just my reaction was my jaw, it just fell wide open, and I had my bag on my shoulder too, and it just dropped with my jaw too.
Siwash, where were you?
I was in school at the time. I heard of something about an attack, and once I got picked up and went home, I realized what had happened, and I was shocked. I was in shock mode. I kept watching CNN for hours. I didn't even dinner, just kept watching CNN. I watched the replays of the planes hitting the World Trade Center, and they kept replaying that. I kept looking, and I was 9 years old back then, and I realized that a very big global event just happened, and at the same time, they also talked about who was involved, and that affected me a lot.
Rakin, where were you?
I was in my 8th grade math class. They made an announcement on the PA systems saying that a helicopter just attacked the Pentagon, and everything is okay. Just I was in a state of shock. I was like, is that a plane hitting a building? Did that, as in like the biggest, as in like the world's tallest building, did that just collapse? Is everyone okay? Like millions of questions just went through. I was in a state of shock. I couldn't think.
Siwash, what was your first reaction when you found out that allegedly Muslims were behind 9/11?
It affected me a lot. I mean, a month before that, I was on a plane heading to the U.S. for a new life, and once I found out that Muslims and Osama bin Laden from Afghanistan, I knew that our life is going to get changed after that. I just knew it.
How did it change?
Because, other 9-year-olds and 10-year-olds back in 4th grade, weeks after 9/11, they just, they called me terrorist, to be honest, and they made fun of Muslims.
Typical season of, I guess, is yearbooks. When we all get our yearbooks, we bought our yearbooks. It's 8th grade, we're all leaving middle school, we're all looking forward to high school. So we're looking forward to having a yearbook signed. And I still remember that the phrase, hey, Rakin, I saw your dad on television. Hey, I saw your grandfather on television, as referencing to Osama bin Laden.
Yeah,
it was such a, like a lot of Muslim students, and especially being in middle school where it's a time for, us, at the time kids going through such a hard time of development. It's like a big rush, and especially having like an event so catastrophic happen then, and going through the stereotypes, it was weird. Like I remember in the back of our yearbooks, we would have those timelines, like what happened that year, and there was like 4 or 5 pages dedicated to 9/11. There was yet again images were on there, images of the plane, colliding with the towers and everything. And there was a picture of Osama bin Laden underneath that says, most wanted guy, the brains behind 9/11. And I could have sworn I probably had 4 to 5 circles around the name from fellow classmates saying, hey, I see your dad, have a great summer. Like 4 or 5 circles on that image, or hey, is that you in the future? Or like I still remember that. And the comments, I had a whole back page of comments saying, you know, go back to your country, or like they were.
But did you tell them this is my country? This is where I was
It's
born?
not. No, it's not, because I remember I was at least smart enough to say that, hey, technically I'm more of a Pakistani. Yet I am mixed. Osama bin Laden isn't even Pakistani. He's from another Arab nation. So how could you just classify me as a terrorist?
You were saying something.
And like he said, comments saying, you know, hey, your dad's flying the airplane right there.
I mean, people just became more ignorant towards Muslims.
There's some, you know, even parents just, I'm out of school, parents were just looking at me, like, you know.
Like parents of your friends?
Parents of my friends, yeah. And the parents, just parents in general, they were standing there and they're picking up your 2-year-old, you know, from kindergarten, and they're looking at me with this look, you know, and I can't say anything. I can't, you know, reply back to that. But I did understand what was going on, though. That these guys are looking at us, and their perspective of Muslims have changed. Because before 9/11, their perspective of Muslims were, they were good people, and they had good opinions about us.
In the back of your minds, were you guys thinking about the victims? You know, those guys, those people, human beings sitting in the planes when the planes were hitting the building. Were you guys thinking about them too?
I mean, of course, because in 9/11, on that very day, it showed pictures, it showed like the video, it showed faces of the firemen and the victims that were in the Twin Towers. And once you see that, it just like breaks your heart to know that like they've been through something so traumatizing, and to live through that, it's just amazing.
I see those firefighters, you know, once the tower fell, once the debris settled, they're all coughing, and I look at them and, you know, they're out there saving lives. They're risking their own lives to save, you know, others they don't even, you know, they'll never probably meet again after that.
I remember I was so scared when the cloud of debris came over all the people that were trying to run away. And I was just so scared that like something's gonna happen.
Like I kind of felt like I was there too. Like I would imagine what I was gonna do, like run, you know, what if happened, what if I was there with my family and my mom got left behind, or my brother got left behind, or my dad.
It was like, it touched, like, it hurt me so much. It's like, first of all, why did they do this? Like why? It's like a state of shock. It made no sense at all.
Our religion is non-violence. We're not supposed to do this. This is not what it's supposed to be.
Well, we got to stop right here. We'll just take a quick break and be coming right back to you. Stay tuned. You're watching Muslims America, a special episode on 9/11. Welcome back. You're watching Muslims America, a special episode on 9/11. How do you think your lives changed from that day onwards?
It completely changed. I mean, I wanted to prove to people that terrorism isn't what Islam is about. I mean, actually, Islam is about peace and about being righteous to people. I mean, what I did is in my high school, I started a club called SAD, Students Against Destructive Decisions, which its main point is to show people what the problems are from drinking alcohol and doing drugs and just stuff like that. And the main thing is that I just wanted to prove people that that's not what Islam is about, that we actually go for good, not for bad.
The mainstream media just shows very bad images of Muslims, you know, of them blowing themselves up, and that's what people have to understand. It's not like that at all. We're also against radical Islam.
But that would depend on what kind of actions you show them, right?
Yes, you have to do something to make a difference.
Do you think, are you making a difference?
I think I am.
How?
I tell others about how our religion works, what we do, and how we practice our culture and religion.
But Rakan, if I ask you that, you know, there's this perception that Muslims have always been a closed circuit community. They've been involved with their own people. You know, they haven't been so involved in the community, in the mainstream American community pre 9/11.
I believe it has changed because after 9/11, absolutely, I do agree with that. I would see like same cultures with same cultures, Pakistani Muslim with Pakistani Muslims, Indian Muslim with Indian Muslim, Afghan Muslim with Afghan Muslims. But after the event has changed, I like the bad coverage that the religion overall, God, was really not deserved. First of all, it's like another way I can say that every religion has a group of terrorists. The way how I've seen it is that I've seen that a lot of Muslims are trying to make a bold statement that no, we're not terrorists. We do not practice these such things. They're not even our beliefs. So they're going out, they're interacting with Christians, Jewish, and all these other different multiple faiths. Like I remember 9/11 was one of the key reasons why I produced the Interfaith Comedy event, which happened earlier this year.
Earlier to our recording, you were saying something about people calling you camel jockeys. Was that post 9/11 or that was pre 9/11?
That was post 9/11 because Muslims, they weren't like, especially in my area in suburban Northern Virginia, people didn't know that much about Muslims. And when after 9/11 occurred, people started like becoming more like racist.
But no, you know what? The way how I would see that is that the time frame at the time we're all young, we're learning new things. It's a big cultural mix that, you know, hey, we're in elementary school with the same group of with the same group of people, and now we're in this new institution where it's like you have multiple races and everything, and everybody's just attacking each other. And especially 9/11 happening during a middle school time where everyone is so unstable. Like anything could happen. Like one comment could make you go into deep denial as well as, and I've seen other people go through that.
Who's responsible for handling something like that? I mean, it's the parents' responsibility to sit down with their kids and tell them that, listen, if you see a Muslim, that doesn't mean that you're watching a terrorist. I mean,
oh, definitely. But those parents also do the contradicting things of, yeah, you know, I've seen parents, you know, don't hang out with, you know, Ahmed or, you know, Muhammad. And
you've seen that?
Yeah, I've seen that.
With your own eyes?
With my own eyes.
Yeah, I agree with you. I've seen that too.
And they try, as much as parents try not to involve their kids in these sort of situations of being racist, some parents also sort of, you know, they approve of it.
Well, you know what I'm trying to understand, how do you guys react or respond to something like that when you're so young?
Well, when you're really young, you have to understand why it is happening. You know.
Did your parents talk to you guys? Did you go home and discuss it with your moms and dads, and did they guide you on how to?
Oh yeah. Well, after we found out that, you know, a Muslim person, he was the catalyst of all these events. They talked to us. You know, don't let these other kids let you down. Don't go into denial.
Because you didn't have anything to do with it.
I have nothing to do with it. Like I said before, hey, there's your dad, you know, in the airplane. I would tell him, no, it's not. He's a very respectable man.
What would they say to you?
They would call me, you know, words like terrorist. You know, I'm 9 years old. You can't really call a 9-year-old terrorist. But mainstream media also shows, you know, 9-year-olds with a AK-47 in their hand.
But that's not in America.
That's not in America. But mainstream media shows it.
I clearly remember after 9/11 we had Eid. Me and my family, we went to Springfield in Virginia, where the mosque is. Right across the street was a reception hall. There was like a reception hall where I guess the gathering for prayer time there was gonna be so large that they booked the reception hall there. So people were walking across the street, and obviously we're all wearing our shalwar kameez, we're wearing our traditional clothing and everything. And if you connect that in mainstream media, it looks like exactly what Osama bin Laden is wearing when he's walking out of his cave. People would literally slow down, like what, as in like a traffic turn would be rubbernecking. They would rubberneck, look back like, oh, you know, that's so bad, you know, like, hope they don't, you know, blow the street up or anything like that. Like, you would get these really, really inferior looks, like they hate us. Like, if we really, as in if we all just got into a group one day and decided, hey, let's do this attack, but as in it's like mass collective, as in we were held collective.
To be honest, this wasn't like it before 9/11. There was no rubbernecking or such a thing.
What you're saying, what you guys are saying is that you guys were paying the price of what somebody did thousands of miles away across the world.
Not just us, it was everybody.
Yeah,
It wasn't just kids, it was parents. Parents, I've heard parents that haven't gotten fired for being Muslim. Even though it's against the law, you know. Oh, I fired this man because I think he's involved with terrorism.
No, as like my friend, as in his father got fired, his friend got fired from the Pentagon and the reason why, oh yeah, because he showed up late to work once. And he was like, probably like, from what I've seen and what I've known, is that he was probably like one of the best guys, but they let him go. They're like, in a sense, 9/11 was like the reason of letting him go.
Okay, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll see how their lives changed to a positive notion. You're watching Muslims America, a special episode on September 11. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching Muslims America, a special episode on September 11, 2001, remembering the victims of 9/11. We're here with these young Muslim Americans and we're talking about growing up post 9/11 world, growing up in a post 9/11 world. They say that from every tragedy, there's a lesson to be learned. What do you think you guys learned out of this great tragedy called September 11?
Well, I learned that some people can be ignorant after some tragedy that happens. Like, say for instance, go back further in history, like in Pearl Harbor. When the Japanese hit Pearl Harbor, many Americans became racist towards the Japanese.
Put them in internment camps.
Yeah, and like, not to the extreme happened to the Muslims, but there was racism towards Muslims. And I learned that some people are just ignorant, and sometimes you just can't do anything about it.
You know, you're doing broadcasting right now. Do you think it has something to do with what happened on 9/11 and you wanted to, you wanted a Muslim voice to be present in the media?
I think so. There's stuff like this that makes me want to make a difference in the world, because that's media. It's the new way of getting out information. You know, it's TV and internet and radio. That's one of the biggest ways to make a difference, and I'm trying to do that.
It brought me down, but it's just like brought me down, but I did take like 2 steps forward, and like I took one step back and 2 steps forward.
I think in a sense it unified us. The reason why I believe it unified us is because before 9/11, Muslims were scattered all over the place, not knowing from which background, what part of Islam they believe in. But after 9/11 happened and all the stereotypes started coming towards us, it has brought us all together and helped deliver the message that, hey, that's not us. Every religion has their twisted set of guys, and we're not them. We love America. We have an American flag in front of our home. So in a sense, 9/11 to me, as from what I've seen and what I've felt, is that it unified the Muslim community together, whether it's Washington D.C. or Los Angeles.
Coming back to a question that we heard from Imam Majid from Adams Center in Virginia, he was saying that Muslims in America are learning from Jews and Christians. How much do you agree with that, Siwash?
Well, depending that we have the same basis in the religion, I think in some ways we do.
What about in terms of reaching out as a human being?
Well, I'm pretty sure if a Christian walks into a mosque, I mean, he will be like looked at weird.
But we've got Christians in Pakistan.
I tend to disagree, because we're not as open of a religion, but we don't look at other religions as they're to be eliminated. They're not supposed to be here. I've seen a couple Christians come in, and the owner of the mosque welcomed them in open arms.
Okay, so do you agree that in America Muslims are learning from Christians and Jews?
Actually, I do believe that, because one way I would believe this is that every religion has gone through their set of stereotypes. The Christians have gone through it, Jewish people have gone through it, Sikh people have gone through it. And now Muslim people are going through it now, presently. So it's just like history. We're nitpicking things out of previous other religions being stereotyped, and we're learning out of this. And one day all the Muslims will unify and learn that, hey, you know what? we're more of a stronger union than we were before.
But union against no one.
Against no one.
Union as your own union.
Union as our own union, because Islam is a religion of peace.
Okay, if you let's just forget about mainstream media or biased media or left media or right media. What does America mean to you?
America means to me for the land of opportunity. If I know if I was not living in America, I would not be what I am right now. America has given me the facilities, the people, the resources, and what I need, and the financial backings of what I want to be and what it has made me. So I love America. You know, God bless America. I love it.
Siwash, as an American Muslim, what does America mean to you?
It means diversity and opportunity to work in in a very great country, because I am the only 15-year-old intern working in a government agency, and I feel like if this wasn't in America, I probably wouldn't have gotten that. I probably wouldn't have a job right now if I didn't work in America. That's land of opportunity.
Idris, as a Muslim American who's gone through something like September 11, 2001, growing up 9/11, faced your racism, faced all this bigotry, people called you camel jockeys. Despite all of that, what does America mean to you?
I mean, I agree with both of them, and there's so much opportunity for almost anybody. And I also think that there's freedom. It means freedom to me, because you can do what you want to do, you can be who you want to be, you can follow whatever religion you want to follow. It's just freedom. You can do whatever you want, basically.
And if you move here as a child, like I did, moved here when I was 9 years old, it doesn't only change you, it changes your parents' perspective. It changes the way they look at culture and their religion, and they want to keep the base of religion. They want to keep their base of religion and culture. And Muslim parents are very conservative, and America does change that in a good way. Also, a bit in a bad way, but in a good way too.
And lastly, before we go, I know you guys have nothing to do with 9/11, neither do I. But when I was watching those planes hit, I was feeling something really sad for the victims. What would you guys want to say as Americans to the families of the victims?
I mean, although I didn't have a part in it, I would like to say that I'm sorry on behalf of the people who did do it. And I mean, especially for the little kids whose parents have passed away in the attacks, it must be really, really hard for them. And I want to encourage them to keep on doing what they're doing.
And as he said, we're in no way part of what 20 people did in a religion of 1 billion people. I do feel sorry that such a 3,000 people died because of 20 people, but just letting them know that our religion is very peaceful. It's a peaceful religion, and like I said, I am sorry, but I can't be sorry on behalf of what 20 people did and what they thought was based religion, but it's not.
Just as said, like I have no part of 9/11, nor does my religion. Islam, nor me, nor anyone here has no part of 9/11. That's because Islam does not preach terrorism. Islam does not, preach 20 individuals to go hijack planes and crash them into monuments. And as to the families, I'm very, very sorry for everything that's happened, all the pain and suffering you've been through. And I myself, I do volunteer in post 9/11 organizations as a volunteer. So, I will work my best in these organizations, and again, I'm terribly sorry for everything.
We work hard to beat these stereotypes. Yeah, we half of the time that's what we try to do, to beat these stereotypes, because it's not fair. It's not for any religion to be, stereotypes. It's become part of life now. But every religion, every person in the world has tried to beat it, and and there's also offense that happened against us, as the Denmark cartoonist who put a bomb on Prophet Muhammad's head, and that affects me too, and stuff like that does not change my way of life. It does not make me a terrorist because a cartoonist depicted Prophet Muhammad something, that's not based on anything like that. Islam is not, boom, I'm gonna go blow myself up, or I'm gonna hijack an airplane. It's about peace. It's about peace, love, and self-respect.
The same way there's so many thousands of anti-Semitic cartoons that come out from the Muslim world.
I respect the Jewish religion and the Jewish people community because I have so many friends in high school that are Jewish, and I respect them. I don't go, tell them to, get out of here or go back to your country, or you don't have a country, because I respect them. I'm not a racist, and 9/11 did change that.
On that note, I'd like to thank you all for coming out here to the Freedom Plaza. And for all those viewers watching at home, we hope that from this short but honest discussion, you have something to think about. On behalf of all my guests and my production team and our executive producer standing behind you, I thank you all for watching, and we hope to see you next time on Muslims America. Before we leave, all those people watching us at home, we would urge you to be with us for a moment of silence in respect to all those victims who died on 9/11. Thank you for joining me, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming out. Good to be with you guys.